In today's video, I want to tell you what I think are the 3 best start collecting bosses for Kill Team. All 3 of these will give you a full Kill Team in one set, plus give you a decent start towards a 40k army if you were planning to go that route. Each of these are $95 if you paid full price, but shop around and you'll probably find them for a small discount. Let's get right into it at number 3, which will be the Tempetus Scion Team. The Scions are part of the Astra Militarum, better known as the Imperial Guard. They are basically the Imperial Guard version of Special Operations. The most common way to play the Imperial Guard team is half Scions and half normal guardsmen, but with this start collecting boss, we'll be going with only Scions. If you're wondering if a full Tempetus Scion Kill Team is going to be good without the guardsmen, Ben from over at Battle Brothers Tabletop has been liking the team and has a more detailed video talking about this setup if you really want to do a deep dive into it. This configuration really started as a custody counter when they still had 4 APL, but I think it's still a fun way to play the team. And I'm sorry if I triggered anyone's PTSD for mentioning 4 APL custodies. If you are tempted to buy this one, you'll be running 10 models on the board, and most of them will have hotshot las guns, which aren't awesome by themselves, but they aren't horrible, and you'll have a lot of chances to take shots. Imperial Guard is all about accuracy by volume. Another nice feature is you can run 2 plasma weapons, and they have other options like power weapons and grenade launchers. And their leader's ability is pretty powerful. He lets you use a strategic ploy without spending CP. Because of their high numbers in the extra CP, you can really maximize the tactical ploy, bring it down, which lets you get a lot of free rerolls if you are heavily targeting one model. If you have a high wound target like a Tyranid Warrior or a heavy intercessor, this could really help guarantee a kill. Alright, number 2 on this list will be the Chaos Space Marine set. In most cases, these will just be a better normal Space Marine than in the current meta. From the tier list I've looked at, they seem to pretty much be right in the middle, which the nice thing about that is if you win against a top tier team, it means you were a better player. But if you lose, well, they had a better team. So mid tier is not a bad place to be. The Chaos Space Marines have 3 APL and 12 wounds, so each model will feel pretty powerful and impactful on the board, and you get assists of them in a kill team. They also have strategic ploys that allow them to either shoot twice or fight twice in one activation, so they can really get some damage off. And if you ever wanted to expand this team, the cultists are significantly weaker per model, but they have a ploy that lets them deploy farther up on the board, which can either apply pressure or help get you some easy tack-off points. When it comes to comparing Chaos Space Marines to the Loyalists, like I said, right now the Chaos Space Marines are stronger, but if that's the only reason you're buying these Marines, you might not want to do that. But we'll likely get Space Marine chapters at some point that will be a significant boost to the Loyalist Marines. But it's kind of 50-50 if the Chaos Space Marines will actually get the same buff or not. I would like to think they would, but typically they don't get the same attention as the Imperium units. I personally would just tell you to lean towards whichever one has the more interesting gameplay, or whoever's lore you like more. Or if you think one type of model is a significantly funner hobby and paint job, that would be the way to go. Unless you do a lot of tournaments and you're a very competitive player, then you want to care more about the meta. For our number 1 team, we have the Thousand Suns Start Collecting boss. The Thousand Suns set gives you a nice mix of Tazaangor and the Rubric Marines. You don't get quite enough Tazaangor for a full kill team of them, but you do get enough Marines for a full Marine kill team. And you can set them up a few different ways, including using a sorcerer. Besides getting multiple fire teams, the reason this is number 1 is actually the Warp Coven Kill Team. This was a team that was introduced in one of the White Dwarf magazines. If you haven't seen the team yet and don't want to buy the magazine, I'm sure you could find a copy of that PDF online, or just go to Wahapedia. The Warp Coven Kill Team can basically use all of the models from the Start Collecting boss, and you have more free will to mix and match whichever miniatures you want to use. One of my friends actually uses the Armin model and glued it to a 32mm base as a proxy sorcerer, so unless you want to run all 3 sorcerers, this isn't the full team. One tip for if you do want to proxy him but are worried about technically gluing him to the wrong base, if you use normal super glue for the base and put the model in the freezer for a while, it actually makes the glue brittle and you can break it off the base. Since Games Workshop does occasionally change base sizes, I use this trick on all my models, and it can really save a lot of hassle in the future. As far as the meta goes, I believe the Warp Coven team is pretty strong, at least above the standard Thousand Suns team. So if you buy this and aren't liking the standard Thousand Suns, you at least have a way to run them that's more competitive. With having several options for which kill team you want to run, as well as having multiple fire teams, this puts the boss in the top spot when they start collecting sets. So that wraps up this video of the top 3 start collecting bosses for kill team players. If you've been enjoying the content I've been making on this channel, make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.